be a private school, or it could be a parochial Catholic school, okay? Or if you're being homeschooled, or if you're going to school online with a charter cyber school. So as long as it's a high school that's in Philadelphia, or you're homeschooled, or a cyber charter school, you will be eligible for the scholarship.
所以这里他刚才讲到比较重要的一点，就是说，如果说你是符合条件的，首先第一点，你是一定要是住在费城，然后呢，他说你如果是在费城，你必须有高中的毕业证书，或者说你现在还在读高中，不管任何高中是公立的学校也好，私立的学校也好，然后那些教会学校也好，以及你即便是在家里面上学或者上网课都可以，只要你是费城的高中学生就可以了。
The second requirement, you must attend community college as a full-time student, which means you must be enrolled in 12 or more credits each semester. And I will show you an example of what a full-time student looks like at community college.
所以第二个非常重要的要求是你必须要是全职的学生，全职的学生也就是说你必须要在一学年修满12个学分，然后他到时候会给你一个例子，怎样子是一个全职的学生。
The next requirement is you must be a Philadelphia resident for at least 12 months or more, meaning if you lived in New Jersey and you moved to Philadelphia, you must be living in Philadelphia for 12 months or more to become a Philadelphia resident.
所以第三个重要的要求就是说，你必须要在费城，住满12个月。比如说你之前是住在新泽西的，但是你又是想要拿这个奖学金，必须要等到12个月满了以后，你才可以去申请。
The next requirement is you must complete the FAFSA application, FAFSA, free application for federal student aid, or other people call it the financial aid application. So you must complete that application and have an expected family contribution below the number 8,000.
所以第四个要求是你必须要完成那个联邦奖学金、助学金的申请，然后呢，家里面提供的资金是低于8000块去支持孩子完成学业的，这是一个非常重要的环节，必须要完成奖学金、助学金、联邦奖学金、助学金的这个申请。
And then the final scholarship requirement is you must enter as a college-ready student, or you must enter at least one level below a college-ready student.
所以还有个最后个要求，就是说你必须是已经准备好了去读大学，你已经是差不多准备好了，或者说是一定已经准备好了的那个程度。
On the next slide, I will show you what the college levels are, or placement levels that you must be able to enter, okay?
所以他会给你举一个例子在下面这一页。
So, how do you get the CATTO Scholarship? First, in order to be considered for the scholarship, you have to apply to Community College of Philadelphia. To apply to Community College of Philadelphia, you would visit our website, www.ccp.edu, and you will see a link at the top that says apply. When you click on that link, it's going to ask you to create an account. And when you create the account, you will complete the application and you will submit the application.
所以它这个是让你去得到这个奖学金的第一步，你就必须要在他们的费城社区大学，也就是 CCP 这个网站上去进行申请。第一步，你就需要注册一个账号，然后需要去验证一下你的电子邮箱，然后第三步是要完成这个申请的这个页面上的表格，然后通常你完成申请之后，它大概会在3到5天之内会去联系到你。
After you submit your application, the college will send you a response in 3 to 5 days, giving you instructions for your next steps.
所以他们会在3到5天内尽快的联系你，然后会告诉你下一步的步骤是什么的。
Now, one of the next steps after you apply is to activate your MyCCP student portal. This MyCCP student portal is how the college communicates with you. So in your MyCCP portal, you can check your email, okay? You can check your financial aid. You can register for classes. So MyCCP portal is very important.
所以他说，这个关于学生的这个申请页面是非常重要的。当你就是完成了之前的那一步之后，你就会得到这个界面。然后呢，这里面会激活你的账号，然后设置密码，然后接下来你就会收到学校给你发的一些邮件，关于下一步怎么操作、怎么申请。
Okay. All right. Now, I told you must come in at college level or one level below college. Normally, we would have students take our placement test, but due to COVID, we're not doing the placement test as much as we normally would do. So we're asking students to submit their high school transcripts.
所以通常呢，他会让入学的学生进行一个入学考试，但是因为现在疫情的关系，他们现在就没有这个考试了。但是他会要求学生去上交一些重要的一些关于成绩的一些资料。
So, on your high school transcript, if your final GPA is 2.75 or higher, then you will not have to take our placement test.
所以如果说你的那个高中的成绩 GPA 平均分是高于7.5分的话，你就不需要参加任何这个社区大学的入学考试。
Also, if you've taken the SATs or the ACTs and you get a certain score on either of those tests, you can also get a waiver from taking the placement test at the college. So,
如果说你
and got 510 or higher in your math score, or 560 or higher in your evidence-based reading score, your English score, you can get a waiver from taking the test. If you took the ACT, 17 or higher in math, or 21 or higher in English, and you can get a waiver from taking the test.
OK， 另外一个免试的一个要求就是，除非你的那个参加 SAT 的考试数学超过510分，参加英语的考试超过560分，或者你参加 ACT 的考试数学超过17分，英语超过21分，你也可以免那个 CCP 的入学考试。
if your high school transcript GPA is below 2.75 and you don't meet the SAT or ACT requirements, we then will set up a virtual placement test for you through the college.
如果说你这些要求都没有达到的话，你也不用担心，他们会给你设置一门就是在线上的一个测试，就是他们学校会跟你进行一个预约，然后预约这个线上的考试。
After you are giving placement from your transcript or from your SATs or from you doing the test, your next step will then be to meet with an academic advisor to then choose your classes based off of the major that you chose to study at Community College of Philadelphia.
所以如果说你的成绩是没有问题的，然后接下来下一步的话，学校就会有专门的教学顾问会跟你联系，然后去计划你在学校里面应该去读哪些专业和课程。
So inside of your MyCCP portal, there is a form called a new student advising intake form. When you complete and submit that form, the academic advisor will send you an education plan, also give you permission to register for classes, and send you instructions on how to search and register for the courses that you need.
对，然后呢，他们就会把那个教学计划发送给你，同时也会把那个如何在网上选课的那个链接密码发给你，就然后告诉你，以及一个说明书告诉你怎样子去注册选课。
Now, financial aid. Remember, one of the requirements was for you to complete the FAFSA, the free application for federal student aid. When you complete that form, you are applying for federal aid and state aid from Pennsylvania.
所以现在是轮到那个关于奖学金、助学金的这个环节了，所以他们是会鼓励你去申请联邦跟州的奖学金跟助学金。
Okay. This is an example of the type of aid that you could potentially receive from completing the FAFSA application. This is just an example. So every student is different.
OK， 他现在给大家一个例子，就是说，如果说你申请了联邦的一个奖学金、助学金，可能比如说一年会收到6300块，这个只是一个例子，然后就是每个人会不一样。
Okay. Now, one of the other requirements is that a student enrolls as a full-time student at Community College of Philadelphia. So this slide shows an example of what a full-time schedule looks like at Community College of Philadelphia.
所以他这里这个例子就是给大家去介绍一下，在费城社区大学，怎样子的情况才是属于全职的学生。
Okay, so in order to be a full-time student, you must be enrolled in 12 or more credits. Most of the classes that you will take at community college are going to be worth 3 credits. So you see English, 3 credits, math, 3 credits, psychology, 3 credits, biology, 4 credits. Biology is 4 credits because there is a lab that's attached. So this is an example of a full-time schedule because this student is enrolled in 13 credits.
所以他给大家刚刚举了一个例子，就是一个学生他的课程表，他一共在这个学期上了4门课，分别是英语课，然后他说，每一个课通常都是3个学分或者比3个学分多。他这里显示英语课、数学课跟心理学课都是3个学分，但是他这里说有生物课，是4个学分。解释一下，就是有些课程，比如说像生物学的课，它是有实验室的，所以它学分多一点。这样子的话，它就满足了一个学期对，我刚才说错了，就是不是一个学年，是每一个学期都要12个学分以上。它这样子有13个学分，所以它符合了全职学生的这个定义。
Okay. Now, community college, because of COVID, has all of their classes. Every student right now is taking classes online. So since students are taking classes online, we would like students to know that you still have the same resources that you would have if you were taking a class in person. So we still provide tutoring. If you need technology, you can borrow a laptop. You can speak with an academic advisor or counselor. And then there's also a bunch of other online resources.
所以因为疫情的影响，现在费城社区大学所有课程都是在线上进行，但是这并不表示在线上进行学生得到的服务会失去很多。其实他们得到的服务都是一样的，还是像以前一样会有学生学长过来帮忙辅导课业，以及如果说你没有那个电子设备，你可以向学校去借电子设备，比如说电脑。然后通常你还可以去跟你自己的学术顾问进行预约，怎样子把自己成绩提高得更好一些，以及一些更多的一些线上的一些资源以及书本之类的。
These are other resources that we share with our students. Okay, so the virtual resources I just talked about, CCP Cares, if you have some a need for, you know, some extra resources, CCP Cares can help you out. And then you'll see information about the CATTO Scholarship. And then we also have a ton of other scholarships too as well. So we have more than just the CATTO Scholarship.
所以他刚才说，除了线上的这些资源以外，他还有一个叫 CCP Cares 的这个资源，就是说你有一些生活上的其他的需要，可以在上面了解到，可以向他们反馈。除了刚才我们今天要着重介绍的那个奖学金之外，他们费城社区大学有他们自己的奖学金，所以他们的奖学金会有非常多的。
Okay, and this is how you contact us. If you have any questions, you can send an email to admissions@ccp.edu, or if you have questions about the CATTO Scholarship, you can send an email to cattoscholarship@ccp.edu.
所以他这里留了一下他自己的联系方式，以及如果说你有一些问题，可以去通过这个电子邮件联系他们。第一个电子邮件是关于那个入学的，然后第二个电子邮件是关于奖学金的。
And that's pretty much it. Are there any questions that I will take? And I am going to leave my information in the chat. So if you need to contact me, you can send me an email.
If you guys are feeling shy, sorry.
所以现在是大家的提问环节，然后今天 Chris 也把他自己的这个联系方式放在了这个聊天栏里面，大家有问题可以直接发他的 email 去联系他。Yes, Rosalind, can you go? Do you have any question?
If you're feeling shy and don't want to turn on your mic, but you do have questions, you can chat them in the chat box to me, and I'll read your questions out loud.
对，关于那个中文的家长，你们也可以去提问，或者在聊天栏里面提问，我们会帮你翻译。
So I see one question from Darren. When is the deadline for the scholarship? Good question. There really is no deadline. The scholarship is going to be offered every semester. This is a partnership with the city of Philadelphia. So we are trying to offer the scholarship to as many eligible students as possible. So there is no deadline. And Darren, there is no separate scholarship application. When you apply to CCP, you will be considered for the scholarship.
Somebody had a question about the ACT and SAT. What is the difference, and is one better than the other?
That's a loaded question depending on who you talk to, but the SAT sort of is designed, from what I know, to kind of, measure your learning ability, sort of, what your capability and how far you can learn. The ACT is more of what you know, so to speak, but the SAT is typically used, I would say, more in the Northeast, maybe Midwest, and maybe even sort of the West Coast part of the country. A lot of Southern schools, high schools, states use the ACT sometimes, but they're both college admission exams. So depending on what college or university you are applying to, they typically let you know whether they want you to take the SAT or if they want you to take the ACT. But both tests are indicators, or the results are used as indicators on whether you will be admitted to that particular college or university that you are applying to. It is not required of you to take the SAT or the ACT for Community College of Philadelphia. The reason why I said if you do take those tests, because we know a lot of high school students are taking the SAT or are taking the ACT. So if you get a certain score, we'll use that score for you to your benefit for your enrollment at CCP. But the SAT and ACT are not required at CCP, okay? You don't need to take those tests to enroll in CCP because we do offer our own test as well. And one more thing, both tests, ACT and SAT, they're really assessing your reading skills, your writing skills, and your math skills. So if you know you want to go to the University of Maryland and you have to have a certain SAT score or ACT score, then what you want to do is get some preparation materials to help you prepare for one of those tests. Okay?
And Mr. Lewis, what's some advice you have to the high school seniors here on making the transition from high school to college?
That's a great question. What's your name? I'm sorry, I didn't see it pop up.
I'm Kenny.
Kenny. Thank you, Kenny. That's a great question. My piece of advice to seniors right now would be to One, make sure that you have all your ducks in a row, lined up. It is January now, right? School year is going very fast and will continue to speed up. You guys are going to go to sleep, and the next thing you know, you're going to wake up and you're going to be preparing for your senior projects and things of that nature, okay? So what I would say is, one, finish strong, okay? Don't slack off. Try to finish the school year out with the best grades as possible, because there's a myth that, a lot of students think that colleges and universities don't look at their 12th grade year grades. And that's a myth. Colleges and universities really are looking at all 4 years of high school. So finish strong. 2, adhere to deadlines, okay? If you've been applying to some colleges or universities, especially some colleges or universities that may not be in Philadelphia, that may be in another state where you have to live on campus, please adhere to deadlines, because I've seen a lot of students miss out on opportunities because they didn't meet a deadline. And then the third thing is, be honest with yourself. As I said, it is January. If you haven't applied to any colleges or universities right now, or before right now, like maybe in the fall, like back in October and November, or maybe even earlier, it's probably highly unlikely that you may get an acceptance to that college or university that you may want to go to. And it's not because you're a good student or not a good student, it's a timing thing. You've probably been having, so I'll use Temple as an example. Temple is a very popular school. Temple gets a lot of applicants. So if you're not one of the early applicants that also fits Temple profile, and you just say, hey, I'm applying to Temple right now, it's highly unlikely that you may get accepted to Temple. I'm not saying that it won't happen, but it's highly unlikely. So be realistic with yourself, okay? There is nothing wrong. A lot of times people look at community colleges and say, oh, well, any and everybody can go to a community college. And that's not true, okay? Because as I just told you, we have, things that you need to accomplish to become a community college student. The second thing I'm going to say too about that is, and this is for a lot of the late people, community colleges help give you the foundation to start your educational career and then use what you earned and transfer it to another university. For instance, CCP has something called dual admissions. And dual admissions will allow you to start out at community college, go 2 years, earn an associate's degree, and then I'll use Temple again, and then say transfer to Temple, but all of the credits that you earned getting your associate's degree at community college goes with you to Temple. So when you arrive at Temple, you're a junior, because you did your freshman and your sophomore year at community college, and those credits transfer to Temple. So now and when you graduate, your degree will have Temple University on it. So you would have graduated with 2 credentials in 4 years, an associate's degree from community college, and then a bachelor's degree from Temple or LaSalle or Drexel, which are some of our other partner schools. But the biggest thing about that too is you're getting that 4-year degree from the school that you may have wanted to go to, but you didn't pay tuition at that school for 4 years. You only paid it for 2, and you saved a lot of money your first 2 years at community college. Because I don't know if you guys remember, this is what it costs on average. I'm gonna just go back a couple of slides. Right here, this $5,368. That's how much it costs per semester. So there are 2 semesters in an academic year. So if you times that by 2, it costs you a little over $10,000, less than $11,000 to attend Community College of Philadelphia. So guys, you know, you can't go to some 4-year schools for $11,000 a year as opposed to $5,000 a year. So I would say to you, again, thank you. That's a good question. Finish strong. Don't slack off right now. And I know it's been hard for you guys being online for the past year and a half. Okay. Finish strong, meet those deadlines. Okay. And at this point, I just want you to be realistic with yourself. It's when you're looking at schools and choosing schools. Okay. So hopefully that kind of gave you a little bit of insight. All right?
Yeah, that helps. I won't disappoint you. Thank you.
Thank you. Yep. And I'm seeing some in the chat. I'll kind of just read. This is one from Keith. Does going to a community college affect your chances of getting into other colleges afterwards? No. Guys, I'm a exit out this presentation because I'm a visual person, guys, and I want you to see. I'm gonna bring up Community College of Philadelphia's website so I can show you guys our dual admissions opportunities, okay? See where it says transfer opportunities right here? All right, and we have, if we look under our dual admissions partnerships, this is what I just talked about, guys, where you start out at CCP and then you graduate with your associate's degree. So these are our partner schools. Now, let me say this, you're not limited to these schools. You can transfer to any college or university that you like, as long as you meet the transfer requirements of that school. But you guys see, you guys know some of these schools. Arcadia, right? It's a very good academic school. Cabrini, small, Catholic school out near Villanova. Chestnut Hill, Cheney, which is one of the 14 state schools. Drexel, Eastern University, Harrisburg University is one of our new partners. Holy Family, which is in the far northeast. Immaculata, Kutztown, right? Another state school. LaSalle University, Pierce, Rosemont, Rutgers is one of our newest partners, okay? Also St. Joe's, Shippensburg, and Temple, okay? So no, it doesn't affect. Actually, going to a community college sometimes can enhance your chances better of getting into another 4-year school, because these 4-year schools know, like, hey, I already have a proven college student. This student is a transfer. So I would take a chance more on this student transferring from a community college because I know they're already a proven college student. So no, actually, and it can enhance, what you're doing or your chances of being able to transfer to another 4-year school. Okay. So I'll read another question. Can you repeat the GPA required not to take the test? 2.75, and somebody wrote it right below. So thank you for that. 2.75. And then Andy asked, what's the tuition for CCP? For a Philadelphia resident, and I gotta stress that. Remember that number I showed? So you can attend CCP for a little under $6,000 a year as a full-time student. And you can earn 60 plus college credits
He said that was for
that you could take to a bunch of different colleges and universities. No, I heard somebody say that was a semester. No, it's 2,000 and something a semester. I'll actually just show you again. I'll bring up, see the slide right there. So this example right here for a Philadelphia resident, the tuition would be, let me make it bigger. I'm sorry, guys, because I'm looking at it like I'm the one doing it. So you see right here, this is an example of a semester. You got 2 academic semesters built into your academic year, right? So let's say this is the fall semester that just ended. The fall semester starts in September and is over in December. So let's say a student was in the fall and this was their schedule, right? So that student would have paid about $2,700 for 13 college credits in the fall. So now it's the spring semester. Our spring semester starts next Tuesday, guys, on January 19th. So now this student, again, is now in English 102, is in math 151, is in psychology 201, and is in biology 107, because they passed the classes in the fall, so now they're moving up to the next level. So then their tuition, again, is probably going to be in the $2,700 range. So if you kind of add that up together, again, you can pay a little bit less than $6,000 a year at Community College of Philadelphia. So if you do 2 years at CCP, your tuition is only going to come up to around $12,000 or so if you're a Philadelphia resident. And if some of your seniors that's on the line, if you guys have been doing research, you know, looking at different colleges and universities that you may be interested in, hopefully you're looking at the tuition and fees. Because again, there are some schools where you can't even go to that school. It'll cost you around $12,000 to $15,000 a semester, as opposed to just spending $12,000 and getting 2 years worth of credits, you know, and saving in that way. So yeah, that's the tuition for Philadelphia residents. And I have to say that, all right, because a lot of times people just get mixed up, you know, and get the tuition kind of, you know, wrong, because they're just thinking like, oh no, somebody said it was, you know, this amount of money. So I have to stress, this is for Philadelphia residents, okay?
Okay, Chris, I do have follow-up questions. So
Sure.
This is a tuition without financial aid. So if a student get financial aid and also the CATTO Scholarship, can you give me example how much they will pay or for a year or for semester? Okay,
so let me say this. If a student is awarded the CATTO Scholarship, they're not paying anything. That's what the scholarship is here for. So we want students to apply for financial aid, right? So let me use this example. So let's say, and again, remember I showed you this. This number right here, this is an example of what we call the Pell Grant. The Pell Grant is a federal grant. So because you did the FAFSA, if you qualify, the federal government will send this amount of money or lower, okay, because it's a range. This is the max. It could be lower than that, right? So let's say this student qualified for $1,000 worth of Pell Grant money, right? So now if I got $1,000 in financial aid, that $1,000 is going to go towards my tuition bill, right? And my tuition bill is $2,684. But I filled out financial aid and I was awarded $1,000. So now there's another $1,684 left over on my bill once that $1,000 is given to me from financial aid. If I get the CATTO Scholarship, or if I'm awarded the CATTO Scholarship, the CATTO Scholarship is going to now cover that additional $1,600 that financial aid didn't cover. Because that's what the scholarship intends to do, is to help you out financially by helping you towards tuition and fees. But then there's also an extra step that the scholarship will help you out with resources so you can do well in the classroom. The scholarship will help you out with resources. Let's say you need childcare issues, or let's say, you know, again, just going to be honest and throw out some of the things that people are dealing with right now as a result of the COVID pandemic. There are a lot of people who are experiencing food insecurity, right? People have been laid off, you know, people, you know, don't have the money that they had in the past. So, you know, some people aren't, you know, eating and having food in their cabinets and their refrigerator like they normally would. So this is where the scholarship also comes in. it's not only going to support you inside of the classroom, but the scholarship is also going to look to support you with things outside of the classroom. Because if you're dealing with housing, if you're dealing with childcare, if you're dealing with transportation issues, guess what? You're going to worry about those issues more than you're going to worry about school. So that's why the scholarship puts additional resources around students so they can help offset some of those issues that students may be dealing with outside of the classroom.
Somebody asked, are there limits to how many people can receive this scholarship?
No. And let me just, and thank you for that question too. And the reason why I say there are no limits is because this is a partnership with the city of Philadelphia. This is one of Mayor Kinney's initiatives to help combat poverty, right? So, there's research and data that says, the more education you have, the less likelihood is that you would be experiencing poverty. It's not to say that because you have a wealth of education that, poverty won't creep into your life at some point in time. But there's research that says, people with more of an education tend to less be in a poverty situation. So this is one of Mayor Kinney's initiatives to say, hey, let's help more Philadelphians who've never been to college before. This is their first time. You can, and you don't even have to, I know we have a lot of high school students on the line. You don't even have to be a high school student. You can be an adult, 40 years old. But if you've never gone to college, this CATTO opportunity can give you the springboard to help get you some training, right? Or to help get you that education so you can get into that career that you want to get into. So there are no limits, in all actuality, everyone, the scholarship really was supposed to start this past September in the fall, but, because of COVID, the city and the college, higher ups had to kind of push it back. But, we're trying to sign up as many Philadelphians as possible. And we know we're probably going to get a big number of applicants in the fall of this year from the recent high school graduates that'll graduate in June. So again, all you have to do is when you apply to CCP, you're going to be considered for the application, because when you fill out the application, we ask you if you've ever been to college. We ask you if you're a Philadelphia resident. So we can take some information off of your application and say, hey, you look like you may be eligible for this scholarship. So that's why I'm telling students, all you need to do is complete the CCP application to be considered, okay? And for those of you that don't know, and if any of you haven't completed the application yet, I'm imploring you to do so, because you don't have to pay a fee, all right? Our CCP application is a free application. So don't worry about asking your counselor for a fee waiver, or you don't have to worry about saying, hey, I gotta wait till I get this 20 bucks so I can apply to CCP. We don't charge you anything. So every high school student on the line right now, CCP should be one of your college options. You should go in and you should complete the application, because we should be one of your options that you're gonna consider attending, in the fall. Any other questions?
Somebody asked, what if your financial aid already covers the tuition?
Then what happens is you then already will then just get the supports that are put around you, because we can't pull back your financial aid, right? So for instance, I gave you that example of the Pell Grant. So let's say if you applied for the Pell Grant and it was enough to cover your tuition and fees, right? Well, we can't pull that money back, okay? But what we'll then do is, if you need money for any other things, right? Textbooks, right? If you need money for transportation, and then all of the other enhanced supports that'll be put around you that the other regular CCP students won't have around them. because again, they'll just be navigating sort of, as any other student would. But the CATTO folks, the extra resources are going to be put around them because, again, as I said, this is a partnership with the city, and the city really wants to help try to start producing some citizens, with some education and training in their background, to help keep them out of poverty. So if your financial aid covers everything, guess what? That's good. That's already, that's good. But it will benefit you tremendously. It will benefit you to still say, hey, I'm gonna be a CATTO scholar because I know I'm gonna have some extra resources and some extra supports around me that's gonna help me be successful in the classroom as well as outside of the classroom too as well. One of the other good things is, since this is a partnership with the city, students will probably also have an inside track on being connected to some resources from the city, right? Sometimes it's hard navigating trying to get resources, but if you have a CATTO coach that's working with you, that also works with folks from the city, that can pretty much help you navigate some things a little bit easier so you can get the resources that you would need to be successful. So hopefully that answered that question. Any other questions? So what I'm gonna do right now is I'm gonna stop sharing my screen because I also wanna drop a link in the chat. Excuse me, I'm gonna drop a link in the chat. It's sort of like a registration link that everybody can, fill out for me. It's just a form that just says that you participated in this presentation this evening. So I'm gonna drop that link in the chat right now. Actually, it's gonna have tomorrow's date on it. That's because I'm gonna keep it open so everybody can, still have access to the link, right? And it's just a registration link. It doesn't commit you to anything. It's just letting me know, because when I look at the numbers, it looks like it's about more than 40 or so people here on the chat. I mean, here on in this meeting. So I just want to be able to kind of capture some of the folks. So I just dropped a link in the chat. Everybody should be able to click on that link. Again, it's just a registration link, just capturing your name, what your interest may be. It doesn't commit you to anything. It just kind of helps us kind of keep track over the, the folks that come and participate in our presentations. But also, this is the way that we'll be able to send you information too as well about potential programs or information that you may be interested in receiving. All right. So do we have any other questions? We have some good questions this evening. Thank you, guys. Thank you, everyone who joined this evening. This is really good. We had a really good crowd that showed up this evening. So I appreciate everybody wanting to take out the time to find out some information about community college. So, so every senior and seniors, you'll probably see either a person like, you'll probably see myself or one of my colleagues, either come into, your school virtually and do a CCP presentation about, the opportunities. So you may hear and see this information again because the admission staff at community college, we're connected with every high school in the city. So some of you may already, you may get this information again if your counselor invites, one of the admissions reps to talk about community college. But seniors, everybody, senior, you need to be completing the CCP application. And let me say one other thing, because I just said seniors. If there are any freshmen, any sophomores, or any juniors on the line too, guess what? We got something for you too. Okay, we can, you know, you can get started with college, you know, fairly early because we have something called dual enrollment. And what dual enrollment does is it allows you the opportunity for high school kids. It allows them the opportunity to start taking some college courses early. I'm gonna show you guys that too real quick because you know, you guys, some of the underclassmen can start taking classes right now too. And again, this is our website, and I like kind of showing the website because you guys can navigate this, you know, on your own at home, and it's a lot of good information. All right, so right here, you know, this is our dual enrollment program, and some of you may know, some of you may have already taken college courses. So if you want to take some college classes while you're still in high school, okay, if you're a junior or a rising, if you're a rising junior or a rising senior, you would do this program, our Advanced at College program. And if you're a 9th grader or a 10th grader, you would probably do our ACE program, which is in the summertime, okay? But both of these programs allow underclassmen to start earning college credit, which is transferable to other colleges and universities. So that's another reason why I would like you to fill out that form that I dropped in the chat, because again, you know, if you say I'm in 10th grade, well, in March or April, we may start sending you information about the summer program where you can, you know, it's a 4-week program, you know, where you can earn at least 3 college credits, okay? We do this every summer. And again, you know, it doesn't cost a lot. It doesn't take up your time. But this program right here, which is called the ACE program, it's for, as I'll show you right here, it's for 9th through 12th grade students, okay? And it only runs for 4 weeks in the summer. And if you pass the class with a grade of a C or better, you're gonna earn 3 college credits, all right? And that's a beautiful thing. You're in 9th grade, even before you get to 10th grade. You say, hey, I got some college credits, all right? And you can use these college credits, you know, to other schools. And I'll just show you some of the classes that we offer students this past summer. Some students took a psychology, a sociology class, African-American history, a creative writing class, music technology was a class that we offered. So some science classes, computer programming. I know this is popular, right? Video game development. I know there's probably a bunch of gamers on here right now. Some of you probably got your joystick in your hand right now. So, yeah, underclassmen, don't wait, okay? You can start your college process now. And let me tell you this, if you take classes while you're in high school and you earn college credit, that makes you look like a really good applicant to some of these very selective 4-year schools, right? Because those 4-year schools will look at you and say, hey, this student just didn't do, you know, what was expected of them. This student went above and beyond. And a lot of times that can be the difference between you getting accepted to that very selected private school or not, okay? So this is an opportunity, everybody. And again, this is our website, ccp.edu. Remember, seniors, this is where you click on to fill out the CCP application, okay? So very simple, you know, click on apply and it's gonna have you create an account and start filling out the application. It's probably the simplest application that any of you will ever do, okay? We don't ask you to write an essay or anything of that nature. This is pretty much your name, your address, you know, what school you went to, what's your interest, what's your interest, you know, what's your future plans, things of that nature. So in comparison to some other college applications, you know, it's a very simple application. Shouldn't take you any more than 10, 15 minutes tops to complete. And remember, there's no fee. So don't worry about money to apply, okay? But look at our website, everybody, you know, and try to get a feel. You know, I talked about some of the things that you can study at community college, right? So if you look, we have things in creative arts, we have healthcare stuff, design and construction, business and entrepreneurship. Let me just uncheck some of these so I can just kind of show you, give you an example of some of the programs that we offer to our students, right? And so you can look at it, accounting, you know, architecture, ASL, which is like another language, you know, automotive technology, you know, behavioral health and human services. That's like our version of social work, you know, science related, biology, chemistry, you know. So we have over, like I said, 70 different degree programs for you to choose from. We have a lot of different disciplines. Culinary, you know, culinary is really big right now. I know a lot of restaurants and stuff are hurting because of COVID, but you know, once this COVID stuff passes through, you know, everybody got to eat, right? So, you know, our culinary and hospitality program is good. You know, cybersecurity is another popular program and another popular field that's going to, you know, have some opportunities moving forward, because guess what? Technology is just continuing to grow and grow and grow and grow. So protecting your information is really important. You know, then we have healthcare stuff, dental hygiene, diagnostic medical imaging, like that's our radiology, you know. So if you wanted to be an MRI tech, a radiologist, you would study this program, all right? Nursing is one of our more popular programs too as well. So you guys, you know, feel free to browse through the website and click on something, you know, and it'll give you some more detailed information about that particular program. But, you know, we have a lot for you to choose from. And again, we can be your foundation for you to start at CCP, get some excellent training at a very affordable price that you can then carry on with you to other universities and colleges throughout the country. Again, you don't have to transfer just to the schools that are local. You know, I know tons of students that transfer to other schools because they want to get away from the city. You know, they want to go live on campus and experience what it's like to live on a residential campus. So, so yeah, every senior, please fill out the application and also have us as an option for you next year, you know. And I'm gonna shut up. I'm gonna say one more thing because I know I've been talking a lot, but you know, I really encouraged a lot of recent high school graduates. I'm talking about graduates from 2020 to consider coming to community college as opposed to going to, you know, Shippensburg University, even though they got accepted. Because guess what? Everything was online in the fall, right? So whether you got accepted to Shippensburg or not, 9 times out of 10, you were sitting in your parents' house paying $25,000 worth of tuition, and you could have been paying $5,000 worth of tuition and getting the same credit. But, you know, a lot of students say, oh no, I want to go to Shippensburg, I want to do this. And then you know what I heard from most recently in the past couple of weeks is a lot of those students who decided to say, hey, yeah, I'm gonna still do online at the college that I was accepted to. And after that fall semester, I got a lot of inquiries from a lot of students saying, hey, I want to enroll in CCP for the spring, because it makes sense. Why sit on your couch to pay $20,000 in tuition when you can pay $5,000 in tuition and be getting the same type of education? Because remember, ladies and gents, you can use your CCP credits at other colleges and universities throughout the country, okay? We're an accredited institution. We're accredited by a body called Middle States. So by us being accredited means that our credits are recognized and accepted by other colleges and universities that are also accredited by Middle States. And Middle States accredited schools like University of Penn, you know, NYU, you know, some of the most prestigious academic institutions around. So, you know, you guys also need to think about the financial piece of higher education too as well. Don't just leave that to your parents. You know, don't just say, oh, I'm worried about, here, mom, this is the tuition. Don't, You have to be part of that too as well. All right. So I know I rambled a lot, but you guys are asking some good questions. So I just want to try to make sure I'm trying to be as thorough as possible. Okay.
Thank you, Chris. I get a lot of inspired from your speech as well. So thank you for participating in our PCDC college workshops. I think.
Thank you for having me. Yes, thank you for having me.
Yeah, it's my honor too. I don't think we have any other questions on the chat box.
Okay. Thank you, Kenny, too. I just saw that. Thank you. So again, everyone, thank you very much for inviting me. I had a really good time. I mean, kudos to your organization, guys. We had, it looks like over 40, 50 some odd participants. So you guys did a really good job of promoting this. Everyone, hopefully you learned some information this evening that you didn't know. Again, I dropped my contact information in the chat, so feel free to reach out to me if you have any questions moving forward. Everybody, good luck with the rest of the school year. Please finish out strong, especially the seniors, and stay safe. And hopefully I'll be seeing some of you on 17th and Spring Garden Street really soon. So thanks.
Thank you very much. Thank you again, Chris. I think today our session is ended now, and I have already recorded it as well. So I will also post it on YouTube video. So if any of your friends couldn't attend our session, you can check the email on our website or on the social media. Thank you.
All right, everyone. Have a good evening. See you all later.
Yeah, see you. Thank you.
Bye. Thank you. I think you can stop recording now, Sungjo.